and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about money creation and how it controls our lives, and and the Need Act, which will make uh, us it will enable us to control our lives, not the financial people, not the bankers. We have to go to the bankers for everything we need now: housing, cars, transportation, everything, from the highways to sewer lines to the cars that we buy. We have to go to them, and the Need Act's going to make that not necessary. Um, in 1778, the Benjamin Franklin went to England, and pardon me, it wasn't 1778. It was much earlier than that. And he went to England, and they asked him, "Well, what do you all do about your poor?" And he said, "We don't have any poor." What do you do about poorhouses? Well, if you don't have any poor, you don't need any poorhouses. All the colonies created their own money. The Continentals, um, they they uh, did not have any banks. All money now is created by commercial banks. All money, even if it goes through the Federal Reserve, it's created uh, by uh, the commercial banks, uh, and it's all money is created with debt. The Need Act changes that. The Need Act changes money creation into creating money as an asset. Wouldn't it be better to have an asset than a debt? Yeah. So, anyway, uh, I see I got a new message here. Uh, I think it's not a message that I was need to be even think about. Um, yeah, all money now is created with debt, and and uh, and that's not necessary. And the Need Act makes it not necessary. The Need Act creates money like our 13 colonies created it. Just prints it. Uh, and of course it prints it under lots of rules, and and Congress, the House of Representatives, is the ones that determines what money is created and how much and where it's spent for where it's spent. So uh, and then there's a monetary review board in the Need Act uh, that makes sure that not too much money is created and not too little money is created. Um, we uh, that's been a problem over the centuries, is too little money being created, and that's one of the things that the gold standard does to us. It creates too little money. You can't mine enough. And I got an argument today with a woman at Aging Services about that. And says, "Well, it sounds like," I said, "Well, the Need Act, the group that I work with is a Banking Monetary Reform Committee of the Green Party." And she said, "Well, it sounds like you're wanting to buy our vote. Tell us you'll give us things." Then she ran off yelling at me. and, uh, people really we do not understand money. We don't know where it came from. A guy named Stephen Zarling, co-founder of the American Monetary Institute, wrote the most comprehensive history of money that's ever been written. And if you want a copy of it, I've got a copy in my Dropbox, and I'll be glad to share it with you. All you got to do is send me a message. Uh, anyway, you can send me a message: Facebook, Twitter, email, uh, whatever, semaphore flags. You can send me a message, and I'll share the book with you. Um, because I know that if you read this and get really interested in monetary reform, you will want this book sitting on your desk. It's an 800-page book, beautiful, and and the most comprehensive history of money ever written. So um, uh, all you got to do is send me a message anyway, and I'll help you out there. And then I'm sure that then you'll want to go to the American Monetary Institute, and that's monetary.org. Just real simple, monetary.org. You can buy the book and see what we've done. See the last convention we have. We have a convention every fall, and we just had one, and of course did it with Zoom, which made it really great for a guy like me that lives on Social Security. Uh, I was able to uh, attend the course this year for $25 instead of 300 and some. If it's in Chicago, and then you have to pay for transportation, hotels, everything. So this was a real benefit, uh, having it on Zoom, and we might be having our meetings on Zoom for a long time with the new mutation and the SARS virus. God knows, we might be in this for a long time. It might be the end of me, because I am 79 years old today, and overweight. I qualify for being a vulnerable person on this, even though I feel like I'm 20 years old. I ain't 20 years old, and I just told my son today that I said, well, when I get on my bike, I feel like I'm 20 years old, and he said, no, Dad, you don't, you're not like you were when you were 20 years old, whether you're on your bike or walking. And I said, my bike's an electric bike, and yeah, that makes all the difference in the world. That damn thing takes off. I have to slow down for school zones. So I got interested in this 2011 when Zarlinga, the author of the book, Lost Science of Money, um, uh, uh, was at an economics teach-in for Occupy Chicago. A lot of the group of us here came out of Occupy. Zarlinga made a trip to New York City and appeared at Zuccotti Park, and a guy named Harrison uh, uh, Schultz said, my God, if I'd have just known this a couple of weeks ago when I had the intention of all of the media. Uh, it was, and as a result, he has been real active. Harrison was one of the founders of Occupy Wall Street. Has become a good friend, and we he is putting on tomorrow the 107th anniversary of the Federal Reserve System that was created on December the 23rd, 1913. And guess what? It enabled the World War One. And so we're gonna fill the New York Federal Reserve Building with hip hop and rock music. We're going to rock on tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And if you come to my Facebook page, you're going to be able to watch it, because I'm going to sit here on my computer and have it on my screen, and I'll just turn my camera around and we'll watch what's going on. And then there will be follow-up videos that'll come that'll be professionally produced, because the band that's going to be there is called the Resistance Company, and believe me, they rock on. And our hip hop band also. Hip hop is a music that came to us out of West Africa on the slave ships. Yeah. And I just took a course that included some information on hip hop from renegadeuniversity.com, renegadeuniversity.com. Go look it up. We had a course on hip hop. And if you want to see that course and want to take part in it, I'll share it with you. I got it in my Dropbox, and 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 maybe you will want to become a member of Renegade University and take the course in January. It's going to be entirely on hip hop music. Somebody just asked a question on our American, whatever it is, Just Money site, about saying that the guy said, well, he was a music illiterate, and just what is hip hop? He needs to take this damn course. Yes, Harrison. I think Harrison, what he knows about hip hop is he just fucking likes it, and it appeals to him. To me, and probably people of my generation that listen to Henry Mancini, Moon River, it's a hip hop sounds like a train wreck, but not to the young white kids and black kids. It's important music, and it really did come out of West Africa. They showed us some black and white films, very old films of back in villages in West Africa, and this kind of music, and it put people into a trance, and very powerful, very important, and we're going to fill the Federal Reserve building full of that music tomorrow, and 1 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. or 12 p.m. Central. Let's watch that tomorrow. So I want to tell you real quick what the NEAT Act does. First, it nationalizes the Federal Reserve. We're going to buy all the stock in the Federal Reserve, and it's a stock company. It's owned mostly by J.P. Morgan Chase. Yeah, Jamie Dimon. All he got to do is get a couple of guys to vote with him, and he controls the Federal Reserve System. And then there's then after nationalizing the Federal Reserve, we're going to put it in the Treasury. Then we're going to end what's called fractional reserve banking, which really doesn't exist in real life. Where you're supposed to have 10% in the reserves in your bank so you can loan money and be safe. And that's a bunch of BS. And because when a loan is made, and that's how money's created, money is created when a loan is made. Okay? You go in to buy that new $70,000 car you want. Say, man, I talk to your banker and say, man, I really need this vehicle. I really like it. And he says, well, let me look at your credit. Oh, Mr. Jones, your credit looks good. Let me type out a few papers here. And he does that, types out a few papers, and said, well, we need to sign them. And then he turns back around to his computer and goes, where it is? Yeah. Punches a fucking button. Okay. He created that money right then. That money wasn't in some vault in the bank. It wasn't there at all. It was created right then. And that banker had all the power to decide that man got the money and how much he got. Well, we're going to change all of that. Oh, when the man gets up to leave, the banker says, Mr. Jones, you do have a job, don't you? Guess what? Mr. Jones became a debt slave right then. And he has to do what the banker says do. Sometimes it takes the bankers a while to catch up with you, but he has to do what the banker says do, which is mainly keep a job, keep the income coming in, and making your payments, and then you're okay. And, so let's okay then. we're going to end that power of the banker to create money. He's going to have the money. In the Need Act, he's got to have the money to loan the money. Now, if he doesn't have it, he can come to us, U.S. Treasury, and say, man, the guy needed $70,000 a day, and I gave it to him, and it took all my money away. I need some more reserves, so he'll get it. And if that's the kind of thing that we want him to do, and he won't get it if it's the kind of thing that we don't want him to do, like buy weapons. If we decide, no, we're not going to buy weapons, they're not going to be money to buy weapons because the bankers won't be able to create it. And that gives us the power to create money through Congress, through rules that make sure that there's no inflation and make sure that there's no deflation. So that's the second thing that the Need Act does. Nationalize the Federal Reserve, ends fractional reserve banking, and then the third thing is it spends money into the economy. The things that we want. We will control education. We will control what's taught in the universities, not the bankers. We will have control. We will control our nation. And believe me, folks, nothing will change. Nothing will change until we do this. Because the bankers have been deciding what goes on in the United States since 1778. That's when Hamilton and Washington decided that we needed to take the power to create money away from Congress. It's given to Congress in the Constitution, but Hamilton and Washington decided to take that away from Congress and delegate it to their friends who became the first bankers. And guess who became the richest man in the United States? George Washington. So he gave it all away. We fought the Revolutionary War to keep from having this kind of banking system that we got now. And then at the Constitutional Convention, gave it all away. And that was what got me really interested in monetary reform. When I heard Zarlinga tell that story, and it's much more complicated than I just told, at the economics teach-in at Occupy Chicago, I thought, man, I needed to get to know this guy. I've got an economics degree with a major in money and banking. I never heard this shit. You never heard it either at any university in the United States. But maybe if I get to teaching a course at the Renegade University, that is, Russell, you might start hearing this story. But next month we're going to have a course on hip hop. I've already enrolled, and I'm ready to take this course. So let's meet again tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time, at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the New York Federal Reserve Building in New York City, and fill it full of rock and hip hop music and have a good time. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.